Well, hello YouTube. Today is March 11th, and it is a total of 3 days after a Connecticut Superior Court judge did the right thing and ruled that the COVID restrictions, at least in terms of the school mask mandate, were void because of their unconstitutionality. Specifically, it involved separation of powers. Now, there's one thing, and you can read the decision in the video description. Please do, because I know the media is, of course, silent on what it said and what it didn't say. But this video is the quick, important, helpful takeaways. So, step one, by the way, the judge ruled there was no authority to do this for more than 6 months. Okay, so that's decided. Like it, hate it, we have a legislature that they declined to do these things, and so therefore they have acted. They have decided to not do the masks, not do the social dimwitting, not do the restrictions, not do the one political party gets to ride on the highway, nobody else does. So that's it. It's over, and it should be over. And so is this government by Zoom thing. So if you're in Connecticut and you've got local yokels or state officials who want to do everything by Zoom, well, it's now a FOIA violation. So if you don't like the action they took, go ahead, file a FOIA complaint. This living behind a webcam and living behind plexiglass it's over. They've ended it. So the one thing I didn't like about the decision, it was trying to suggest, and I disagree, and there's a reason, there's a legal and a factual reason I disagree. It said, the whole mask wearing thing was beyond reasonable debate. Well, that's false. And the reason it's false, the same issue came up in the Murphy case, and it's called the Daubert Standard for scientific evidence. Now, the thing about all of these COVID cases, nobody has actually wanted to get into the whole, Daubert Standard for scientific evidence, because if they did, they would actually have to go out and try to prove that this mask thing and this social dimwitting thing actually worked. Now, everyone loves to quote the CDC. Well, the thing is, the screamers have done it kind of selectively. They'll pick and choose, like, the CDC says you should wear a mask. Well, okay, great. Well, but what about all the CDC articles and the NIH articles and all of the screamers who said, well, 8 to 9 times as many positives as we've tested have actually had the disease? If that's the case, and you take the CDC at their word, which, by the way, I show you the data from the CDC in other videos in this channel. One was entitled, I think it was day 255 of the 15-day lockdown, and that was several days after day 320 of the 15-day lockdown. If you take the CDC's own data and you multiply that curve, which didn't show that anything improved, and you multiply that by 8 or 9 times, which is what the CDC said, this thing is over. It's blown through the population despite all of this safety theater. So if the judge in this particular case had actually utilized the Daubert Standard, which is why I have an appeal in the Second Circuit in the Murphy case, based on, in part, the lack of the Daubert Standard. Hey, don't say it's beyond reasonable debate if you're not going to actually employ the scientific method. That's what the Daubert Standard is. So that's the major takeaway of what's bad about it. Obviously, no orders entered, but we know Governor Lamont didn't have the authority to do what he did. And I had always had this theory from the beginning that he's going to do it as long as he can get away with it, and he's going to do it until society just breaks down or a court stops him. And a court stopped him. So that was good news. And by the way, do please join us Saturday, March 13th at the Capitol in Hartford. This is definitely not over, but the time is definitely now to complain, to file suit, to complain to the FOIA Commissioner. People still want to do government by Zoom. It's not working. And it won't work. And everybody's going to do this as long as they can get away with it. And folks, it's no longer about COVID. It's about money, and it's about control, and it's about just getting away with things. Life's got to move on at some point. And the only people who don't want it to move on are the people that are getting incentive to, get paid to not have it move on. So I just wanted to do a quick update on that decision, which and by the way, that's not an injunction. That's summary judgment. That's basically the bulk of the case has been decided, finally. So as to that, the screamers can say what they want. When it comes time for, a local town committee or a local city council or board of selectmen to try to do things through Zoom, no way. The authorization for that, it came through the executive orders, which were deemed unlawful, in excess of the governor's authority. So if anybody wants to tell you our town can still do it, no, they can't. So if anybody wants to say they can do reduced hours for restaurants, bars, no, they can't. If they want to say we can make you wear a mask, well, if the governor had no authority to do it, no, he can't. Everything follows. And it is such a wide sweeping thing that it would take hours just to go through all of the executive orders, starting with 7G, which introduced profound changes. I mean, you could talk about DCF custody hearings. You could talk about suspension on hearings for like involuntary commitment. You could talk about speedy trials. You could talk about everything. Everything, all of this. At least a judge, I disagree with a lot of what he's saying, but a lot of it is right. The beginning, he walks through, I think the first sentence says that, and I hope I'm getting the quote exact here, the law restrains the good, lest the wicked inherit its power. Well, with what the governor's done over the last year, I couldn't have started that decision better myself had I written it. So it's over. It is the beginning of the ending, and there are going to be a lot of people held to account as a consequence of this prison experiment. Be it federal money they've misappropriated, be it like the secret activities, the secret meetings, trying to jam agendas through, trying to like grab cash. It's over. And I'm glad a judge in Connecticut decided to finally be that adult in the room that said, you can't do this forever. We have a General Assembly. Whether they do their job or not, well, obviously, I know they haven't, but they're going to have to. So until later, stay well, stay safe, and yeah, stick to it. Don't let up. Anybody who wants this to end needs to be active, loud, vocal, and doing everything they can to completely end this safety theater. And of course, yes, that does save grandma. So watch the other videos on the channel. If you don't have that data in front of you, go get it in front of you. Like it, share it, throw some coin if you found this helpful. And I will hopefully see you all on Saturday. Till then, take care.